Hello, YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekum, and this is podcast number 399. We're getting close. For YNAB, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. I want to talk today about, or ask you a question, actually, and that is, how are your categories ordered? When you're doing your budgeting, whether you budget every single paycheck that comes in, every single day, once a month, I do it monthly. A lot of experienced YNABers do it monthly because any more than that is unnecessary, but any less, and you start to get a little out of touch. So we do it monthly. Seems to work out really nicely. So you're sitting there, you're doing your budgeting session, and you're allocating money. I want to ask you, how are your categories ordered? From top to bottom, what is the very first category on your budget? What's the next category? And promote the idea that you could carefully order your categories by your priority and get really specific about it. The first ones might be super easy. You might say, oh yeah, for us, absolutely, we always want to give 10%, right? So that's number one, non-negotiable, right? Work through those as you go along. Rent or mortgage, non-negotiable. Utilities. But break down the utilities for fun and ask yourself, like, which one is the most important? Where does internet land versus phone versus water, right? Versus gas, things like that. Be really, really intentional about the order of those categories that are in these really comfortable groups. Your groupings, your category groupings are probably already ordered by priority because that's just the way people tend to default to their budget. And then from there, though, I want you to be more granular and ask yourself really carefully, what is most important? Is A more important than B? What about C? And order them in a way that has you very clear, and if you're sharing your finances between your spouse, you're very clear and you agree, this is the order. It'll get a little tricky if you got like a his and hers category, because I don't know. I don't know what you'll do there. I know which way ours are ordered, but I would never suppose to be able to tell you which way your his and her categories are ordered. So you got the fun money for the for the different partners, and you can work that out or fight it out as far as how that order should go. Once all of it is ordered meticulously, where you've gone through every single one and said, is this more important than this? Is this more important than that? Now the fun begins. One, it's super useful to have your categories ordered meticulously by priority, because then when you're doing your budgeting, when the money runs out, you just stop. But the exercise here is take it a step further, and I want you to decorate the category name. This is a little funny, but decorate the category name where you kind of say, you know what? From here down, we could actually live without. From here down, we're okay. We had this, I did a podcast a couple weeks ago where it's like, yeah, we could stop doing that if we wanted to. We could start doing that if we wanted to. And this is kind of an extension of that idea. If your category, let's say the category where you're saying, oh, from here down that could be lopped off, then you may want to rewrite that category. Let's say it was diamond-studded dog collars. That's the spot where you're like, no, that still needs to be there. Everything below that is fine. Maybe you would rename that category with like lots of equal signs and lots of equal signs on, the front and back of diamond-studded dog collars. Or maybe you add some emojis into it and some kind of decorative thing to show you what your above the line versus below the line categories are. I say this because deciding and kind of revealing, I say revealing, you really are deciding, but in a sense, you are kind of just discovering this between the two of you if you're sharing finances, where your what's above the line and below the line for you is very instructive, because then you can look at the below the line items, those items where you say, yeah, we could actually very easily live without these. And then you say, how much money is in those? You see where I'm going with this? You total up how much money you've budgeted for those below the line items. And then you say, should any of this money, should's a dangerous word. Do we want any of this money to go to some above the line items? And so you're forcing a bit of a binary situation, and I like this because there will be some clarity that comes out of it. At the end of the day, when you're budgeting, you're doing all this work, you're just trying to find clarity. and carefully prioritizing your categories and then establishing that line where things below the line could go away, well, test it. Make them go away. Just for a month. See what happens. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules and you will win financially. You've never budgeted like this.